Welcome to Rick and That Michelle Chick. I am That Michelle Chick. This is episode number 1, introductions. Of course, I'll go first because you're a little bit long-winded.
Go for it. You've got the red carpet, Michelle.
Except for I'm so excited. This is how excited I am. I remember in Forrest Gump when he's standing on the dock and he sees Lieutenant Dan in his little boat arriving. That's how I feel right now because I have been trying to talk you into doing a podcast for years. I'm excited and nervous and, all those kinds of things. I'm sure you're not nervous.
I don't. You know what? I think it's going to be exciting. I know my son has been after me to get on TikTok for years. He goes, Dad, gosh. you have all these crazy stories. You should be a TikTok guy. Da 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 da. You should do a podcast. And so now that you've wrangled me, here I am.
Okay, it doesn't mean it's going to be successful. We're just basically two dum-dums talking about stuff.
I love it. Hey, if I get a royalty check for 1 cent, I consider that a success.
Okay, I figured we could introduce ourselves and we'll kind of dive in like how we know each other. I was thinking, should we add a disclaimer?
Do we need a disclaimer?
Okay, listen. Okay, we should probably add a disclaimer, which I already said we don't really know anything because we're just two dummies basically talking about shit. But we will introduce ourselves and talk about what we do for a living, which is radio. I was thinking we should add our disclaimer because people would have listened to us or listened to us currently, and we're probably going to be a little bit different people on the podcast because we're going to be able to speak our minds. We don't have restrictions about what we can and can't talk about. But that's something we can circle back around to because we have a lot of stories. Remember when we've gotten in trouble for Pepsi and Coke? Remember? I think we've pissed off both of them at some point in time.
That's going to be a fun story to talk about.
Yeah, so we could circle back around to that probably another episode. Anyways, I'll jump back into introducing myself because I totally got sidetracked. That's probably going to happen a lot. So let's see. I'm married to my husband, Jay. I'm the mother of 4 adult kids, Matthew, Benjamin, Jackson, Shaylee, and then my daughter-in-law, Haley, who is due with our first grandchild, a girl, in July, which we are so excited, and she's going to be so spoiled. We can't wait. Let's see. We have 2 Australian Shepherds, Dexter and Maisie, 6 cats. I'll name them all for you because we might as well just get this out of the way now. Marshmallow, Pinto Bean, which I did not name any of these cats, by the way. Disclaimer right there. Max, Franklin, our one-eyed cat, whose name is Thor, because the kids said that was appropriate, and Coco Jean. 4 of them are foster fails, which both you and I help with pets and that kind of thing. But we foster cats and kittens for a local nonprofit. And 4 of those we could not part with. I was thinking about this the other day. We've probably been fostering for about 10 years now. And I think we've had close to 100 cats and kittens that we've fostered in our own home. So 4 out of 100, I think, is a pretty good percentage. Don't you think so? I think that's a pretty good percentage.
It's a good percentage.
We probably would have got so many more if I hadn't, put my foot down a bit. No, we can't. We foster them here in our little town, and then they get transported to a bigger city where they get adopted actually pretty fast over there. And also the room I podcast in is where 2 of our current fosters are. We have to keep them separate from our cats because they will fight our cats. You might hear a little bit of meows or whatever. Yeah, they are in the room I'm in. If anyone is looking to adopt 2 adult 9-year-old cats that were living on the streets, please hit me up in our socials and I'll be happy to give you all the information. Is that you? Is that your?
That's not me. So that's right. So see, that's what happens. See, so we've got Roxy, and Roxy sounds like Chewbacca. So I don't know if I can turn this to where you can see. She's
let me
like
see her
down here somewhere. Hang on a second. She's down here somewhere.
Roxy, interrupting my introduction.
There she is.
Hi, Roxy.
So
She's
I knew
so
we were joking about when we were going to start this podcast. I'm like, okay, my dogs are just not going to let me basically do anything.
But I think it's you know what? They are part of our lives. And
they are.
I think it's great when COVID was going on and everybody was broadcasting from home and there'd be little kids that will pop in the background or animals, or I think that's real life. That's who we are as people. So I love it. I love it that she interrupted my introduction. So.
Well, of course. Of course she did. Because underneath me, I've got Barkley and I've got Roxy. So, and I'm trying to keep them both at bay or at least entertained.
Right.
So Back to your introduction.
Okay. Well, let's see. I love to travel, shop, go to concerts, spend time with my family. I love Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh yeah.
My new favorite is Pedro Pascal, by the way.
Really? That's interesting.
Hello.
He's getting a lot of heat. I'm surprised. Okay.
No, I love him. That. And of course, I love Tom Ellis as Lucifer. He was fabulous. But anyway, I'm currently working on a nonprofit, trying to get it up and running. We'll have more details on that to come. I was in radio on and off for 21 years. And then I left about 7 years ago. And that's, of course, how we know each other from radio. Yeah. We've known each other, 26 years?
Don't do the math.
I was trying to think about this the other day. Okay, so Benjamin was what? Like not even a year old, right?
Yeah, it was 1999. So
yeah, and he was born in 98. So we've known he's 27. So 26 years. And I was trying to think how many times we've worked together too, which is
a couple times.
3?
Oh, easily.
It
might be 3. Yeah, absolutely. My first radio failure, and then another
we'll
radio
talk about
failure,
that later too.
And maybe the third radio, and then the third one turned out okay.
Right, and then this last time that we worked together, we actually got to do a morning show together, which I don't know if we could call it successful or semi-successful. I don't know. I mean, we thought we were great.
It was very successful, and I laugh because down here in the Tri-Cities, that's where I'm located at. I was doing a concert, and the band, I believe they're called Inglewood Heights. You may know the name there. Anyway, so I'm up there introducing them on stage, and the lead singer goes, "Your voice is like, how do I know you?" And I said, well, I used to work in Yakima for a lot of years because that's it. And I said, yeah, Rick and Michele in the morning and Cephas. And she's like, oh yeah, of course. She just goes, the minute you talked, she goes like, why is this guy in Tri-Cities sound like somebody that I know, or why does he sound so familiar? So I get that a lot.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. You want that to happen.
It's a good thing.
You want your voice to be
I don't owe her money,
recognizable.
So that was even better. Like, hey.
No child support.
Yeah, she's not chasing me or anything. She's not chasing me or anything. Great band out of Yakima, Inglewood Heights, and so it's just funny. Because even though we're 70 miles apart, people don't realize that it's can be interchangeable, if that made sense.
Right. I was thinking about this when we were talking about starting this podcast, because in radio, we, trying to switch my brain from, we only have 3 to 5 minutes to talk about this topic. And then we have to get into commercials and we got to get back to music, because otherwise it's this little bouncing dance, I guess you could call it, that we don't want to lose our listeners and we need to keep them engaged. But at the same time, if you ramble on too long, kind of like I'm doing now, then they are going to switch to a different station. So I think that's going to be the challenge for me now, is we have all this time that we can just talk. And of course, it's probably going to be boring as hell to some people.
Sweeping right or left, absolutely. So
yeah, so if I seem like I'm trying to rush you along, just be like, it's okay. We can talk about this. We can take our time. We can dive into whatever. So anyway, that's pretty much my introduction. I mean, I'm sure there's something I forgot about myself. We'll just discover it together on this journey that we're about to take, which, I mean, introducing yourself it's just weird. You want to sound interesting, but you don't want to overly brag about yourself. I don't know. It's weird to me. Hopefully I did the best. And if it sounds horrible, it sounds horrible.
I just treat it like it's an AA meeting. Hi, my name is Rick. Yeah, right, exactly. Hi, Rick. Is it my turn?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. Well,
you can lead with that.
Yeah, well, as Michele had already said, I've been a broadcaster, 36 years, going into my 37th year. Just
crazy.
Turned, my birthday is the official start date for my radio career. So I celebrate that because those years are a lot less than my actual age. So it's much easier. Yeah, I'm going into my 37th year of broadcasting. Got started in a small town, Clarkston, Washington, at a country station in the middle of a cow pasture. And this was back in the day when you had fives and vinyl records and a card file. And it was live. You segued every record. And I always tell people that it looked like the cart machines, what we call them cart machines, but that's where you played the commercials, look like 8-tracks.
That's what I was going to say. That's how I try to describe them to people too. They're like an 8-track. Luckily, I came a little bit later when it was no records. You came a little bit later. I'm a little bit younger.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it, getting started back then, was the Charlie Daniels Band had the song "Devil Went Down to Georgia," and there's one part of the song where it says "son of a bitch," and so what they did is they put a sticker on the album, so you couldn't. I mean, you weren't supposed to remove the sticker.
So you couldn't say it.
No, you had to play what they called the 45. That said, "Son of a gun."
Right.
So,
that's something we could sorry.
Yeah,
squirrel.
No.
That's something we could talk about on a different episode is censorship in songs and,
Oh, yeah. People don't realize. Yeah. So that was, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it had a sticker over it. Yeah. No, it's funny. It had a sticker over it. So you were never allowed to play it. And believe it or not, I never did. Now, I will tell you, this is good because it's been 37 years. So it was, I did this, my first radio job. I only did it for 3 months before I went off to college to Nampa, Idaho. And so on my final night, I brought in my own knives. And so I played the Eagles. This is a country station.
Did you get in trouble? Oh my
no,
God,
they never knew. It was
it
was in the middle of the night. But I played Chicago. I played the Eagles. I played Cheap Trick the Flame. I remember that. And somebody called me up. Some guy that was a former worker at the station called me and goes, "Oh, Rick, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing, just playing music." And he's like, "This doesn't sound like it's on the playlist." I'm like, "Hey, it's my last night."
It's my playlist.
It was. Now, I would never do that today, but as we get to know each other, you're going to discover that I have broken a lot of rules. You know,
remember when you would not let us play Wham! Last Christmas? We were on a country station, and that is my favorite Christmas song, and you refused.
Nope. I think we played it. I think we played it one time. Didn't we play it one time?
Yes. Yeah. I finally wore you down, and you're like, fine, once.
Fine, play them, have them revolt against us. So the funny thing about that, worked at that radio station. I came back. I went to college for a little bit, Northwest Nazarene down in Nampa, Idaho. Did it for exactly, as my wife says, I really didn't go to college because I only did one semester, and I
did like one quarter too.
Yeah,
and then
I realized, man, I really like the radio thing. So I went to the guidance counselor and said, I really like this radio thing. And he's like, well, he goes, do you see a radio station around here? And I go, nope. And he goes, well, what are you going to do about it? I said, well, I'll see you later. And I dropped out, headed back to Clarkston and Lewiston for at least the time being, and resumed that job. And then ended up getting fired from that job because I didn't sound country enough. So I got fired from the job.
That's something else we could talk about, being told.
Oh, gosh, the list goes on and on.
We don't sound this way, or we don't this, or we don't this.
Exactly. So I've been up and down the radio dial. We'll talk about that. 37 years is a long time. But Boise, Seattle, Bakersfield, Yakima, Tri-Cities, Montana, Idaho Falls, the list goes on and on. I've also been on stations in Arkansas, Wisconsin, and the list just goes on and on. So a lot of radio stuff there for you. I'm married. I have a wife, Megan. Megan is my second wife. Lucky her. I have
and the last one.
And the last one, absolutely. Oh, I'm not doing that again, man. We'll talk divorces someday, I'm sure. I'll never do that again. My son Logan is 31. He's an aspiring and starving musician, and we're going through a woke period right now, which is quite interesting. As his girlfriend works at the pot shop, and he's living the sugar mama life, but making music. Spotify's got it and all that. And he hates the world. So that's going to be an interesting story down the road. Then I got my stepson, Kyron. He works in construction. He's a little bit more level-headed, but he does live in the garage. So the door behind me is basically his apartment. It's the garage.
So if he just pops in one of these times.
If he's got to go to the bathroom, there's only one way around.
I mean, as long as he waves as he's walking through.
And the hilarity, see that switch right there? I'm pointing right to it. Yeah. If I flip that turns his lights off. Yeah, because it's actually on the outside, so it's kind of funny. So sometimes I'll in the middle of the night, like, oh yeah, why is that on? Not realizing I've turned off his light. Off his light. So we've got 3 dogs, like we talked about. We've got Barkley, who's 13. We've got Roxy, who's 12. And we got Bodie, who's 3. He's a rescue. And I sit on the Pet Overpopulation Prevention Board down here in Tri-Cities. Love spay and neuter and all that. It's kind of the Bob Barker. Go Bob. Go Bob Barker. And if you didn't know it, Bob Barker was born in Washington, Darrington, Washington, if you're just curious about that.
No, he wasn't. Are you serious?
He's born in Washington. He's from Washington.
I didn't know that.
He is. Bob Barker is from Washington. Spay and neuter your pets. Mm-hmm. So, and then currently I do a morning show of all things. This is the hilarity. Now, I can talk about this on the podcast. I never aspired to be a country music DJ ever. Okay, now we're going to discuss why. It has nothing to do with the format or that I dislike the format. It has everything to do with my childhood and little things that happened in my childhood that made me go, you know what? I don't want to be a country DJ. Now, in my career, I've done top 40, rock, you name it. But what's the one format that I get drug into all the time? Country music, man. Country music. And it's so funny. I always laugh like, what? what are you people thinking? So anyway, I currently do a country radio morning show, 102.7 KORD in the Tri-Cities. A lot of fun. And I also work on another station called 98.3 The Key. So, and that's kind of more of a top 40-ish kind of radio station. So,
which is more huge comic.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge comic book collector. My number one band on the entire planet, which we're all going to laugh about, Mr. You cannot do better than, we'll talk about why they're awesome. And I'm a Star Trek fan. What else am I?
You're basically a nerd. You're basically a classic nerd.
I mean, if I go to a comic book convention, I'm an 8 at least. Now, in real life, I'm a 4. I'm a 4. I'm a 4.
Nerds are back. They're popular.
Well, I shower.
And claim it. And be like, yes, I am.
I shower. I put deodorant on. So when I go to the convention, I'm like, feeling real good about myself. Like,
do you dress up in costume?
No. So that's another thing. No, that's another thing that shocks people is I do not cosplay. I like cosplayers, and I have another story about why I don't cosplay. See, we got so much stuff we can dwell in.
We have so much.
And stuff you've never heard of, because you know me, I'm a big old.
I've heard a lot of stories.
My eyes are brown. So full to the top, and there's going to be lots of stories that I'm going to share with you through this process.
Yes.
Call it therapy. Call it therapy, Michelle.
I mean, I feel like this kind of is, doing radio. You are stuck in this little tiny. Let's paint the picture for everyone who hasn't been to a radio station, hasn't seen the inside of where we broadcast from. It's like a little tiny box that you are literally stuck inside together for 4 to 5 hours a day.
Oh, absolutely.
Monday through Friday. So you have to chit chat in between music and commercials and blah, 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 blah. So you learn things about each other that you did not think you would ever learn.
Stuff you can never share with anybody.
We'll take some of that shit to our graves.
Exactly.
Let me tell you.
Exactly.
And that is the
crap you talk about your coworkers.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, I mean, hello. Okay.
I know.
Okay, let's talk about most people in radio.
Yes.
I mean, let's be real. Most of them are egotistical, right? Not us.
No. Yeah, fair statement.
Right? Most of them. And again, like you said, we are in these small town markets where nobody cares. This is not major market radio.
Right.
That we have been in. And these people think that they are, God's gift to radio. Well, if that's the case, why are you in Yakima?
We've always talked about that.
Why are you here? Move on if you're great. So that's number one. We have to deal with those people on a consistent daily basis. And that adds to, we have to talk about these people.
Oh, don't trust me. Oh, yeah. Now we can change the names to protect the innocent, but
I mean, what are some of the other radio personalities that you could think? Egotistical is like the first thing that pops into my head. That's like the top of the list.
Right. Well, exactly. Well, it just depends. I mean, again, I always when I talk.
We are a little crazy.
What's that?
We are a little crazy. I feel like a lot of us are. We have the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality is what I like to call it, right? Because especially in radio, because no one, until the internet, no one knew what you look like. You were just kind of, again, in a box talking to people. So you could have whatever personality you wanted. So it's kind of that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, where most of us are pretty quiet and laid back in our normal lives. And then once the microphone comes on, it's like, hey, we have to change into this whole different person. So that's the other personality.
Yeah, that's true. And if you're at
which
the store,
a lot of performers are that I've discovered.
Because no one's at the grocery line going, "Hey, I'll take some tomatoes and I'll take some potatoes." I mean, you do get. I mean, on occasion you get recognized, but for the most part, they don't know who you are. And the best part, nor do they care. Let's put that.
No.
You've got to put that better into perspective. But we've had coworkers wear their lanyards everywhere they went. So they would go into Subway and they'd be like, "Oh, well," and they look down and go, "Oh, you're so and so from where? Oh my gosh!
Right.
Oh, it's awesome." I'm like, "Hey, that person craps like everybody else."
Right. Well, and then this is, a long time ago when I first worked at 107, when it was like, I don't know if I should say their name, but they did the morning show. I did middays, which is the 10 to 3 slot.
Oh, I'll say their name.
I don't know if you know who I'm thinking. They would go into places and expect, like you said, the Subway or whatever, and expect that they would, because of who they are, they would get free food or things or
you cannot be
or
talking
whatever.
About. They did the morning show, right?
Yes.
You're not talking about Eddie.
No.
Not Eddie. Okay.
Nope. I think this is before your time. I think so.
Oh, I could name all the alumni if you want, but I mean that's still funny.
It is an alumni. So anyway, yeah, you can't just expect that people are going to give you free shit because you do the morning show, but that's how they were. And then if they didn't get free stuff, they were like super upset or pissed or. Right. It's just crazy. But
that's crazy. Well, that reminds us that one of the things we can add to the podcast, of course, is we know the former mayor of Yakima. So there's plenty of great stories about for me, and I adore him. He's one of my besties. But I still laugh to this day that when he was the mayor, he could do no wrong in people's eyes. And so we knew him as we know him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, in that little tiny room together for 45
so we laughed about it. But the greatest, and so what's so funny was once he wasn't the mayor, it was hilarious how suddenly they didn't give a crap. You know what I'm saying? You know, and he was still trying to go, hey, I'm the mayor. No, you're the former mayor.
Do I get VIP? I'm the mayor.
He's a great guy, and you know what? He's a great guy, and I think in the future you got to have him on as a guest.
Sure, I mean we can have him on. You bet. I mean, go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you want characters, we'll give you characters.
Oh yeah, you get the three of us together.
I'll get you a character. I'll get you some characters.
Just speaking of when he was mayor, remember say we needed something for the radio station and we had to run into Fred Meyer and grab one or two items, right?
Right.
I learned my lesson the first time going into any place like that with him, right? We needed to be quick. We needed to get these two things and get to where we needed to be. I don't even remember where the hell it was, but it took us an hour to get through Fred Meyer because everyone would recognize him and then want to chat with him. And being the mayor, he couldn't be like TikTok. I gotta, he had to play like the politician and
kissing bababies,
be nice.
Shaking hands,
exactly.
Kissing babies
yes.
the whole time. And
it drove me nuts. So finally I'd be like, you want to go? I ain't going with you. No.
Now, we will definitely tell the story later where we were doing a big event where we're living in a car and he goes and gets a Jamba Juice and he goes, oh, I got to go. And he went to the gym. He went and did his errands.
Did he take a shower?
Yeah, he went to take a shower. Here we are, stuck in a car for days, raising money for poor little kids that need help.
Yeah, it's
and he comes walking up with a Jamba Juice. Mm-hmm. And Michele goes, what the F? You got it. What you got? Where did you go? And he's like, oh, I had to go, I had to do my chores and I did this and I did that. Oh, you wanted to kill him.
Yeah. Oh, because you and I
were stuck there.
Right. We were committed. We were committed to this. We really lived in this car. And here he is just gallivanting off into it's an everyday schedule for him. Right. And it isn't
he'd get in the car for a little bit. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go do, and anyway.
Right. So. And then people would come and expect to see him with us. And we'd have to be like, oh, he's in the bathroom. We have to make us some excuse because he wasn't with us.
Absolutely. See? There's going to be, I told you, Michele. So, if you're just curious, there could be some great stories coming down the line. And, again, I may be tempted just to say their name, just for the heck of it. So,
I mean, if we get in trouble, we get in trouble. Here's how I look at it. So, especially in radio, you know how we talk about our lives and people in our lives, you automatically sign a disclaimer that I can talk about you if you talk to me. If you don't want me to talk about anything about you, about your life, whatever it was, then don't tell me these things because chances are I could slip up or there's going to be a topic that associates with this. I'll be like, oh, hey, I know someone. Yeah. That happens all the time.
That happens every day. And I still try to be careful within reason, but again, when someone has a real unique name and it's so different, good way to get in trouble. And the nice thing about the radio thing is we know everybody from all paths of life. So we'll talk about some of our celebrity sightings, some of the best celebrities, some of the worst celebrities, stories like that, behind the scenes on that.
Yeah, meet and greets, what it's really like, because a lot of people aren't prepared.
Oh, they freak out.
Meet and greets.
Well, they don't really,
or they expect that they're going to get to spend 20 minutes with Tim McGraw, and that just isn't the case. So you kind of have to prepare them if you're in line with them and gave them the meet and greets as the radio station.
I always like it when it's the cattle call and then it's it's almost like you can, 5 seconds, boom, picture, 5 seconds, picture, boom. And then they get mad because they missed the first act because a lot of people don't realize those meet and greets happen while the first act is on. So so Lainey Wilson's up on the stage and she's opening for Tim McGraw, you're backstage meeting Tim McGraw. Right. And Lainey, and so people go, oh, that was horrible. I missed Lainey. Well, yep, that's going to happen. So a lot of little stories
don't want to do it after because they're all sweaty and gross.
Yeah,
and
it's a rarity.
They probably just want to go home and get on their bus, and they got to get to the next town anyways.
Well, yeah, I've made lots of jokes. So in Yakima, you've had some really great artists that have come through, like Cher and Elton John. And I will say this: I don't care what you tell me, Elton John never touched the ground in Yakima because he got off his private jet. Basically probably got carried to his limo, went to the Sundome, and someone probably whispered in his ear, okay, here's where you're at. I think you're in Yakima. Okay, hey, Yakima, hey, good evening. Got in his limo, was on his jet, and off to the next show in 2 hours.
Right.
I know he was. I don't know. You're never going to convince me that Elton John touched Yakima soil.
Right. Like, especially Elton John or Cher. What are they going to do in Yakima?
Right.
Nothing.
Now, I will give credit where credit is due. Macklemore had come. Mm-hmm. And Macklemore did come to Yakima. He played the seasons, and he was walking around downtown Yakima earlier that day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because I saw him. That was when his oldest daughter, her name's Sloan, I think.
Yeah, it was a little baby girl.
Yeah, she was a baby in the stroller. Ryan Lewis was with him, and then they had this huge bodyguard, ginormous. We basically passed each other on the sidewalk, and I kind of turned back as they passed us. And I was with my friend, and I was like, that was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. And of course, my friend is, can we go talk to them? Should we say something to them? And I said, no, he's with his child.
He's with his entourage, yeah.
Yeah, he's with his daughter. Just let them be people. Which is also another topic we could talk about. I know we've thought about this. Stars should be, have to give up some of that privacy or, whatever.
Oh, and you and I feel totally opposite about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But in this instant, he was with his daughter, and I was like,
sure.
He's with his kid. He's just trying to be normal. Just keep on walking, basically.
Well, we'll also give you the secrets on how you can get a lot more time with a celebrity too, as well, because I've learned in my travels that you hang back. You be cool, treat them normal, and they're going to spend more time with you.
Right.
But if you freak out, you're trying to claw them down or get a photo and climb all over them, they just want you out of there as quickly as possible. But if you hang back and act like you're just meeting somebody, they're not famous. Hey, Jim, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And you have a conversation. You're likely going to get the conversation with them rather than, breaking out the Polaroids. So this is my little girl. This is my little girl, Sammy. I want to show you a picture of her. This is my grandpa. Here's my grandma. So anyway,
they're big fans of yours.
That's right. Can
we record a little video to send to them? We could talk on a different episode. Some of the rules at meet and greets. Yes, but some people have done these things. We'll talk about that on a different episode because I think it's hilarious and it's going to be great and it's going to take us forever to talk about it anyway. So
were you at the meet and greet where the promoter had a gun on him?
Which one
Maybe
was that?
You weren't.
Do you remember which
that
artist
was at 107.
That was? Who did we meet? So remember Alanis Morissette and Garbage came to the Sundome?
Yeah, Garbage. Oh, yeah,
that
absolutely.
Might have been the only top 40 show that I've gone to at the Sundome.
Well, I have a great story for you, Michelle, about that Alanis Morissette meet and greet. So here's the deal. And to this day, it haunts me in my sleep. You ready for a good story?
Okay. Have I heard this?
So, no, you've never heard this story. I mean, maybe I've talked about it, but we always do country together. We never get to do the pop stuff.
Right.
So anyway, back in the day, 107.3 KFM, the number one CHR in Yakima, right? Alanis Morissette is coming to town, and she's bringing Garbage, which is fantastic. And so this is after Jagged Little Pill. So the next album didn't do that well. Remember, the album didn't do that well. So we weren't playing the song. Right. We weren't playing the song. And the record rep calls me, and he's like, hey, we'd love to get you on Alanis Morissette, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that song sucks. I'm not playing it, right? And I dug my heels in on not playing it. Now, the funny thing about it is, he goes, well, do you want to go backstage and meet Alanis? Da-da-da-da. I'm like, and back in the day, I have no scruples now. I'm a whore now. But back in the day, I was 28 years old, bushy-tailed, like, I must defend the music. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so I said, well, if I'm not playing the song, I don't think I need to go. I don't deserve or need to go backstage to meet Alanis Morissette. Yeah. So the staff could have gone back and met Alanis Morissette, but I had dug in. No, this shows you what an idiot.
Garbage. We got to meet Garbage
because we were playing the song special. So we were playing the song special. But
you kept us from meeting Alanis.
Yeah, and this was and the rep. I can tell you. I know. I can tell you right now that the rep's name was Michael Pivar. He's a nice guy. I look back. Why didn't my dumbass just play the song in Overnight? No one. No, okay, number one, you're in Yakima, Washington, so no one cares that you're not playing. If you're playing the Alanis Morissette
Even
song,
back
right?
then.
And she was in town.
Right.
So I am, when I think about that, I'm like, and I see those AT&T commercials right now. I'm like, damn it. I love Alanis Morissette. I will never get a chance to meet her now because she doesn't come through.
Right. None of us will. But it's like, you robbed us all of that chance.
I did because I was so, I don't know how to describe it. I was just so like, I'm going to be the best programmer. I'm not taking record rep money. I'm not going to, payola, plugola.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, plugola and payola. I'm not taking that. And so looking back, I'm like, you play the damn record. You take your staff backstage. You meet Alanis Morissette.
Right.
And you have a great time at the show. And remember, at this time, 107 had no competition.
No, we were the only top 40 for a long time.
Like,
years.
You should have gone backstage and met Alanis Morissette at the top of her game. Mm-hmm. Would have been amazing. So anyway, there you go. Shame.
Damn, I can't believe.
That's all right. We're already getting a downvote on the podcast. Already hundreds of downvotes right now. Like, this guy sucks.
Well, now I know the truth. Why we didn't.
You do know the truth, absolutely.
We did get to meet Garbage, so.
We did, which was awesome, and I did see. It was interesting because.
Oh
my gosh! Garbage's lead singer. Oh, she's very famous, and I can't.
Shirley Manson, isn't it?
Yes,
Shirley Manson?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, she
do?
was wearing sweats where you could see her panties, her lace panties. It was not a bad day for the old Rickster. So
you didn't say anything, did you?
No, of course not. Oh no, you know me wrong. No,
oh God,
you know me well enough to know that I would know.
I wouldn't think so. But
I'm not misogynistic. You know that.
We're talking about 28-year-old brain, Rick. I don't know.
No. I still no. I was raised right, so I just remember just going, okay, I like that. And there's a great photo with her too. She's amazing and a great memory for Garbage there. Yeah, not so good for Alanis Morissette.
No, thanks a lot.
See, look what you got yourself into, Michelle. You're like, I want to hear some of these stories. I told you I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, now I know why we didn't get to meet Alanis, and we did get to meet Garbage. In my mind, I'm like, why are we only meeting Garbage?
Did I wonder if I lied because back then.
28-year-old you would have lied.
I think back then I was a big fat liar, so I think I probably said, we don't have access to her.
Which that's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah,
podcast.
My best Michelle story ever is coming.
We have to tell maybe next episode we'll tell the story.
This day, Michelle, I tell people that story all to this day. It literally was. It was a defining moment.
That was
It was a defining moment.
And it was for me because it was the first time I stood up for myself, voiced something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah.
So
you have no problem doing that today. But yes, that was.
Right. But back then, I was also, 23?
I talk a lot about those early days, the suckage of the early days, man. We'll talk a lot.
Okay. So podcast 2, which would kind of be in order because that was the first time that we worked together. So episode number 2, we'll start with that story, and then who knows where that's going to take us.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe now we wrap up episode number 1 with that. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You realize we're dumbasses. There you go. You're gonna hear a lot more dumbassery as we go along on this podcast, no doubt. And the nice thing is the biggest dumbass is gonna be me, not Michelle. So there you go.
Oh, that's not true. I mean, sometimes I have blonde moments.
But going forward, we're keeping score on who's the biggest dumbass.
Oh my goodness. What are we going to ask people?
We could do a poll. Yeah, hey, do a poll. Mm-hmm. Polls down below.
Neither one of us want to do that to each other. Like
I do, because I know I'm good. Because you know me, I'm competitive. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
So am I. But we're both stealth competitive. Like we're.
Oh wait, yes, absolutely.
Like, yes, we're not boisterous about it.
Oh no,
if something happens.
No.
Which we kind of discovered that about each other this last time we did mornings together. We learned that we're both kind of like that if something happens and somebody does you wrong, and then in your mind, you're like, I'm going to jerk you back.
Oh,
but
I
you
love
don't say it
karma.
out loud. Right.
Yeah.
You plan it out all in your head, step by step by step, how you're going to F them over.
There you go.
Basically. I mean, I could have said the real word because we're not on the radio, but I just want to keep it a little more PG.
I think it was some good introductions, and just follow us on this crazy ride, right? Mm-hmm. This crazy ride, right, Michelle?
That's right. So hopefully next week, episode 2 will drop if we get approved. Yeah.
They listen to it back and go, not this trash.
Yeah, probably not. So we could say goodbye with that.